What is up, guys, and welcome to the South Coast. On today's video, we are installing a new valve body on a Ram 2500. Y'all stay tuned. Alright guys, so like I said, we are installing a new valve body. This is the Randy's Transmission Babymaker 1000, I believe it's called. I got this kit from them. It came with the valve body, filters, new drain pan, and then the steel filter adapter to replace the plastic one that is known to crack. So, and I also got three 5 quart jugs of transmission fluid. So we're gonna go ahead and try to install this thing today. Hopefully it goes well. Working with a 2014 Ram 2500. My truck has 228,000 miles on it. And I was getting the overdrive pressure rationale trouble code, which points towards the valve body. So like I said, this is the Randy's Transmission valve body with their install kit. The only thing extra I had to buy was the fluid, so I got that. Let's see if we can do this without making too much of a mess. Well, that went about as poorly as it could have. Huge mess, but we'll get that cleaned up. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and let that keep dripping out there. We're going to get this metal adapter fitting put on the new spin-on filter. So let's do that now. Alright guys, so apparently I did not hit record when I put the pan on, but as you can see, got the new Mag high-tech fluid pan put on there and tightened down just using their torque specs and basically a cross torque pattern to get it snugged up. We're going to wait 10 minutes and then come back and check it, make sure there's no movement on anything, basically just letting that gasket compress a little bit, and then do a torque check afterwards. And then once we do that, we'll be able to add some fluid. Alright, so I got about 13 quarts of fluid in there. It's supposed to take 14, but I'm going to let it settle out before I add the last bit of fluid in there. I want to get a good reading, and so I got to let it move its way through that dipstick, let that dipstick tube drain out a little bit so I can get a good reading without just getting a bunch of fluid on the dipstick as it's going in and out. So while that's settling, I'm going to go ahead and load the new tune on my truck. Not going to cover that because I'm probably going to fumble through it a good bit myself. I'll be watching YouTube videos on how to do that as I'm doing it, so not going to film that process. But that is one thing to note. You got to talk to your valve body manufacturer, as well as if you have any sort of tunes on the truck, just to make sure everything's compatible. Some of these valve bodies need more line pressure, so the transmission tuning has to change a little bit. That is the case for my truck. So I'm going to go ahead and get that new tune loaded up in the truck, come back, check the fluid level, top it off as needed, then we'll get this thing fired up. All right, well, got the new tune loaded on the truck. Let it sit, got a good reading on the dipstick. It's reading a little bit high, but we'll see what that looks like once we start the truck. Cycle some fluid through. I think I drained a good bit out of the trans cooler, so we'll get that fluid cycled through, and then we'll check it here in a bit. Also, I'm going to go ahead and look up the proper way to check the fluid on these trucks, because I know some vehicles with automatic transmissions, you have to have the truck running in park or neutral or something like that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start the truck, cycle through the gears, maybe roll back and forth a little bit, make sure we get fluid circulated all through everything, and we'll see what it does after that. Alright, well that is going to wrap this video up. Pretty simple job, to be honest with you, but I just made a huge mess. Try not to do what I do. I think if you were to get one of those, they make those tubs, sell them at like Lowe's and Home Depot. They're like for mixing bags of concrete. I think if you got one of those, you'd be doing alright. But just situation I had going on, not great. Made a big mess. But other than that, the actual hardware swap was pretty easy. Once I got the tune loaded in there, fluid filled up, and the level right, I went ahead and took it on a test ride. Everything looks good, feels good, rides good, so definitely glad to have this job done. Like I said, it's not too bad. If you're pretty handy, change your oil, all that sort of stuff, you can probably get this job done. So if you're getting the error code, forget exactly what error code number it is, but it's the overdrive pressure rationale or something to that effect. Hit up Randy's Transmissions, talk to those guys over there. They're super knowledgeable, super helpful. They'll get you lined out with a sweet valve body like the one I got. So we're gonna wrap this one up here. I hope y'all have a good one. We'll catch you next time down here on the South Coast.